My whole life, it's been what I wanted to do.
All I wanted to do was be a cowboy. You get on your first one, kind of a thrill-seeking deal, and you get on your second one because you can't help yourself.
Few people who can say they've been on the back of a bull.
No other high like it that you can get.
All the extreme sports we participate in, not one of them could ever compare to the unpredictability of this sport.
Every kid wants to be a world champ. That's what I dreamed of my whole life. Unfortunately for me, I couldn't stay healthy.
Paramedics, I believe we may need to see you.
In the mix, he kind of got in the bull business.
Ty loves taking care of those bulls.
Big-time contractor around here. He's got some good bulls.
He cares more about people and animals than he does himself.
Your hand slides down.
Very passionate about bull sport.
38 and a half. I would like to introduce to you. I get a lot of good feedback. Hey man, we really liked when you talked about your bulls. 90 points on that bull at the National Western Stock Show.
He has a very successful stock contracting business, and in order to do so, you have to have pro rodeo quality bulls.
He's had good success, whether he's taken bulls to the PBR finals and taken bulls to the national finals.
I'm not sure that I really was infatuated with riding. I thought I was, but I think it's just being around these animals. And then I was finished riding bulls and I couldn't stay away.
His passion is just the Buckin Bulls, and that's a full-time project.
It's more dangerous being a bull rider, definitely, but I would say it's every bit as stressful, maybe more, being a stock contractor. The bull riding part of it, you're kind of like a wrestler. I mean, it's all you. Everything you do, whether good or bad, you own. This bull deal, you know, it's our job to keep them in good shape, to feed them right, and to make sure they have fun, you know, just in life. The biggest misconception about Buckin Bulls is that we treat them bad and they're harmed during their event where they perform, and that's 100% false. They're part of our families. You know, they're weird pets, but they're like my dog running around out there. These are just like our 1,800-pound dogs. You know, we care for them. They get to know us. Every one of them's got their personality just as different as people. Some of them you can get there close to, and some of them don't really want you around, and some of them are grouchy, some of them are friendly, just like people. They kind of get to know a voice and maybe kind of recognize people from time to time, and when I'm out here feeding, I come out here by myself and they get used to just seeing one person out here. And they'll get pretty close when I'm feeding in these feed pans. They'll get right there close. You know, nobody will ever know how they see, if they see color, if they just see like a heat outline, kind of like a thermal camera would see. They've run me over wearing green or blue, or just as easy as when I wear red. So I get close to them because I think they become familiar with me and the way I move and the way I sound, and they just get used to that, so they don't fear coming around me now. Like a racehorse trainer, I got to feed them right and keep them in good shape, and the rest is up to them. They've got to want to do it. We have their grain specially made in Oklahoma. When I built the feed, they wanted to know where we live, the climate, the altitude. You know, it's pretty specialized. It's a pelleted feed, and it's 16% protein. It's medicated. It's got a little bit of antibiotic in it. You know, these bulls are on the road a lot. They drink out of different water tanks, and it's just that medicated feed just helps them a little bit. So it's specially designed for this type of animal that works 8 seconds max at a time. They're kind of like sprinters. So we built the feed after what they do and how they're built and the altitude. Usually when we buy bulls, they come as proven bulls. You know, somebody will call you and maybe send you a video of a really good bull that they have. You know, I like for them to bring that bull here to the house or get that bull away from their home arena and just see what they, you know, how they buck here at my house or somewhere besides their house. What makes a good bucking bull is, first off, their desire to want to buck. I mean, if they don't want to buck, there's nothing we can do to make them buck. They have to want to buck. If they've got that desire and they're a good athlete, then they'll be a good bucking bull. This bull we're looking at right here is S19 Perfect Storm. He's been to the PBR World Finals in 2015. Some of these bucking bulls I kind of consider to be like professional football players. You know, you see them on the street or at an event and they're good guys and they shake your hand. And that's kind of how this bull is here at the house and in the back pens. But I'll tell you what, when it comes game time, he changes and he knows his job and he's very good at it. A lot of the pros, when they find out that they have him drawn at a certain place, they won't even go get on him. They turn him out. You're not so bad. What makes him so scary is he bucks really hard and he's really mean. One of the NFR guys told me that he's intimidating. To me, they're kind of all intimidating, but he adds a little more to the intimidation, I believe. 2 world champions, J.B. Mooney and Guillermo Marchi, had Perfect Storm in Colorado Springs at the World Arena several years ago. And he bucked both those guys off. Within 2 days, he bucked 2 world champions off. That was 2015, that year he went to the PBR World Finals. If I wasn't doing this, if I didn't love to be around animals, horses and bulls, and be out in the country where the wind blows every day, I'd live on the beach somewhere and work on a boat. I could sit all day on the fence and just watch these bulls move and watch them interact with each other. And I love watching guys get on them, and I love watching good bull rides. And I sure don't mind ever if they ride one of my bulls for the full 8 seconds, as long as the bull does his job and it's a great ride. My interest in bull riding came, I believe, from growing up in a Western family, a ranching and rodeo family, and we were around cattle and bulls and horses all my life growing up. I really liked being around bulls. They were big and strong and powerful and scary.
We took him to a lot of rodeos and he just, you know, he really enjoyed, I think he enjoyed all of it, but when the bulls came, you know, it was time for the bulls, he really got into it.
I remember at Sterling being plastered to that chain link fence. My little cowboy boots were through the bottom deals and I was hanging onto the fence. But the rest of the events didn't really interest me. Mom and Dad went to a horse sale in Oklahoma and they were gone for a week. My brother and I decided to build a buck and shoot down there while Mom and Dad were gone because they wouldn't allow us to build one. We did a terrible job. We did the best we could. You know, we dug a post hole about 6 inches and put a post in there and put some hinges on an old pallet was our back gate, and we found this old wire gate that we used as a chute gate, and we put it on backwards.
It worked for what we were using it for.
It was wood and baling twine.
Dad and Grandpa actually saw that, wow, this kid's interested in being a bull rider, so they built me a buck and chute out of steel, and I still have it. My first competition, I was probably 12, and that was at Grand Junction, Colorado, at the Little Britches Rodeo in 1980. A guy out there in Grand Junction named Mike Campbell, he kind of took me under his wing, and he showed me a lot of how to ride bulls, and we practiced some together. And he was there, and he pulled my rope tight for me.
Ty met Mike when he was very young, and even though Mike was a few years older than Ty, they developed a really great friendship. And Mike pretty much taught Ty everything he knew about bull riding.
Mike was very quiet, and he wasn't tall or big, but he was genuine and he was smart about bulls. He could tell Ty anything about how to handle them.
When Mike passed, I think that was one of the most difficult times in Ty's life.
He was 18 and I was 14 when he was killed at a high school rodeo in the bull riding. Of course it was hard. I mean, that was the first guy that ever took notice or took interest in me and wanted to show me, and man, he rode good. And I liked his style as a man and as a bull rider.
He spent a lot of time thinking about it, and I think it was a very difficult decision. I mean, it could have very easily swayed him against the sport, but instead he just became even more resolute in becoming one of the best.
Losing Mike never made me want to quit, but it inspired me. The Campbells went to the state finals that next month in June and invited me to go with them, and that was really hard. And they had a memorial trophy made up, and it was the Mike Campbell Memorial Trophy that was going to the state champion bull rider. And they told me, they said, we're going to give this until you win it. And it really touched me, and I didn't think I'd ever win it, but that was in 1981, and in 1984 I won it.
It was just an achievement for him to have won that trophy of Mike's.
It's my absolute most prized possession. I'd give any buckle, I'd give any saddles, I don't care, you take it all, but that, I'll never get rid of that trophy. It's the last one they gave.
So I made this for Ty in 1984. This is a poem about Mike Campbell by Ed Sankey. And this is Ty's number from high school state rodeo finals in 1984.
Give me an old straw hat and a pair of blue jeans, and I'll know where I'm at and what life really means. Let me ride the rodeo trail and do the best I can. May I stay proud and clean cut and trusted by the shake of a hand. Just a chance, lady luck, that's all I'll ever ask. The challenge of a good buck to be worthy of the task. Most important of all, may I be a good sport and answer the call when a friend comes up short. For I love the rodeo game, love it with all my heart, and if God should call my name, I'm ready to make a new start. It's a poem by Ed Sankey, and that's on Mike Campbell's headstone.
In college, he got Athlete of the Year, Student of the Year. That was because he was smart. They called him the contradiction because how could he be so smart but ride bulls?
And this cowboy can flat ride bulls. Ty Rinaldo, a cowboy that had great success.
Ty was always very well respected as a bull rider. And as a person in general, he's very humble. I think that's always what's drawn people to him. He's very approachable. He showed such a passion for bull riding and such a great talent at such a young age that it seemed to really grab the attention of a lot of the great bull riders of the time.
His greatest attribute is also his downfall. He's just such a nice guy. He's too nice, you know. And I always give him a hard time about it and poke him about it.
Won some championships through high school and college and into the pros.
He looked at NFR tapes all the time. And then we taped him. He'd go through those tapes and look at everything that he did or didn't do. It was really his love.
He was in the top 15 one year for a while. He was very good.
He was very good.
Ty was one of those guys that had the same passion I did. He loved the sport. He loved the challenge of it. I don't think he ever got on one without believing that he was supposed to make the whistle. He was supposed to make that qualified ride.
One of the top-notch bull riders in the sport of rodeo, Ty Rinaldo. Come on, boy!
That's rare for guys to have that kind of drive. He was willing to work out, to deal with injuries, and to rehab, to do what he had to do, to always be on his A game.
Ty was consistent. He was aggressive. He liked to spur bulls, especially away from his hand, which is a lot of guys can't do that. There's no way to really tell how good Ty was could have been, just because he took the college route. You know, he didn't get in the hardcore mix of it until later on.
When he was in high school, went to Glenwood Springs, and he got bucked off there. So then he was taken to the hospital. And that doctor there told him, "You have a Roger Staubach brain, and it won't take much more." We made him quit for a little while. He finally sat us both down, and he said, "I really want to do this."
So we talked it over and decided to let him do it again.
You're injured a lot when you're riding bulls, and the degree of the injury is kind of based on pain tolerance or whatever. I don't know. It seems like you're have some sort of injury all the time.
Occasionally, when somebody gets jerked down and head-to-head on a bull, those are pretty catastrophic. But really, because of the size of the animals, the greatest injuries come when you're stepped on.
Some guys get away with a lot without having a lot of injuries, but I was pretty prone to some very severe injuries.
I had my jaw wired for 5 weeks and lost a bunch of weight. I was still riding bulls, while I had my jaw wired.
I had a knee rebuilt that put me out of competition for 14 months, and several others that, that just weren't quick to heal, so I could be back on the road.
Tore a tendon in my ankle and had to have that operated on. Bicep tendon tear.
Unless you've been on one, it's hard to imagine the forces that happen in 8 seconds. Guys will walk out of the arena with stress and strains and injuries that people in the bleachers don't see, stuff that wouldn't happen in a 2-hour football game. People don't understand it, and I ask them how long a car wreck takes. And that's the closest illustration I can give them. A lot of things can happen really quick in that car wreck. It's the same thing in bull riding.
July 23rd was at Cheyenne, Wyoming, at the Cheyenne Frontier Days for the PBR there. Bull he got lucky. I just didn't do something right that day, and the bull beat me out of the box a little bit and got me set back and come down and hit the tip of his horn and pretty much broke everything from right here. Broke everything in there, and I had to put 68 screws and 12 plates in my face and a 13-hour reconstructive surgery that night in the middle of the night, and was in the hospital for 5 days, but I'm back on top, back riding bulls, doing what I love.
You got to be kind of about half wild and crazy and not have a care in the world to be a bull rider, and that's why I think that's the draw to it. Is like it'd be like jumping out of an airplane. It's the same thing. I mean, that thrill and that, hey, I could die. But at the same time, it's like, oh, it's an exhilarating feeling.
Basically, the name of this game is just to stay on the bull. So however somebody needs to feel that they need to do that, I mean, it's different technique for everybody. But use this one leg on either side and one hand in a rope.
Try to jump it. No jumping.
When you get to the stage of where you can ride and you understand the mechanics of bull riding and you kind of master that, then it is all between your ears. It's all where you're at confidence-wise, mentally and stuff.
I've heard guys say that 80% of it is mental and the rest of it's in your head. It's definitely physical. You know, you got to be in shape. You've got to be flexible. You got to be strong. All of those things matter. But in bull riding, I'd say 80% of the sport is the mental part, the emotional part.
You need to be very clear-minded and open-minded and relaxed and just crawl in there and nod your head and rely on your practice and your instincts to take over so that you can do your job. Because there's no time to think. When a bull moves to the right, you can't tell yourself, I got to move to the right. It's got to be an instant reaction, an instinct, and instinct is built through practice and mental training.
Started not too long ago and just been trying to get on as many as I can, and it's been a good time. Looking at his stock, he's got some big, strong bulls, and they turn back in the gate most of the time, and that's what you're going to be getting on in the big shows, so that's what you kind of want to practice on.
It's a little bit different practice. I mean, you can limit the risk a little bit by what type of bulls you get on, but it's risky. You've got to hit the ground. Whether a bull just jumps and kicks out through there or jumps out of there and turns back and spins hard and maybe bucks, chances are that you're not always going to land on your feet, probably very seldom. So you're going to hit the ground, and that can cause damage. Bulls can step on you, they can smash you into the fence. There's 1,000 different things that can happen. So it is risky practice. If you try to convince them not to ride bulls, I mean, I know if somebody would have done that to me, I'd have done the exact opposite. And I know my kids would have done it. If I would have said, no, you will never be a bull rider, they would have told me every day, Dad, I'm going to be a bull rider. That's just how people are. But so I gave my kids every option. I mean, you guys can do whatever you want. You can be a bull rider if you want. But as I said that, I'd go get a video of me getting wiped out and show it to them. And my son Tanner, he decided one summer that he wanted to get on some bulls. So we bought him all the equipment, and I never pushed him into it, but we bought him all the equipment, and he got on some bulls that summer, and he got wore out. I mean, he got stomped on and run over and drug and hung up and smashed into the fence, and he looked up at me. His helmet was crooked and half off, and he said, I don't want to do this anymore, Dad. I'm like, yeah, thank God, but...
I started riding calves when I was about 4 years old, and when I was in second grade, I seen the PBR on TV, and I said, well, that's what I want to be when I grow up, a professional bull rider, and here we are today. It's part of who you are. I mean, you gotta love what you do to do this, and if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life, so it's not really a job to us. I mean, we get paid, but that's a plus. I mean, we get to have fun and we get to do this, and we're not gonna get to do it forever. And I mean, words can't describe the feeling what it is to ride bulls.
I just love riding bulls. The empowering feeling of sitting on that animal, and that sucker could kill you, and you nod anyways, and you're gonna give it your best shot, and that's the feeling that I like. So if whatever comes out of it, something great, then that's cool. But I just love riding bulls.
When I first started, it was fear in the box, and as you go and you get on more bulls and turn out more head, it turns from fear into concentration and drive, really. I learned a lot about life from riding bulls. It made me tougher, it made me more driven, focused.
I have so much heart for it that I'm going to keep on trying until the day a bull kills me in that arena, or I die of natural cause, because life is short. You got to do what you can, and if you love it so much, continue doing it no matter what anyone says.
Lord, I just ask for your safety
watch over us, to help these guys just execute what they've been shown this morning. And again, that you would keep us safe and that we can honor you even as we buck and ride bulls. In Jesus' name, amen.
I grew up watching my brother ride bulls. It is not for everybody. It takes a certain level of fearlessness, a great deal of respect for the athlete that is the bull. You definitely have to be a little bit of a badass to be a bull rider, and Ty and my brother definitely have that in common. But you know, when they would get on the bull, you just pray. You pray for their safety. But at the same time, you sort of know they got this.
When a guy's getting on the back of a bull, he knows this animal is way stronger than him. So it's a little bit easier to recognize that connection with God, and you want that help. You want God's help. You know there's so much out of your control. It's pretty natural for guys to ask for help.
So I just pray to God before I get on the bull. You know, first thing I may do my whole spiel, do that, and you know, I think just talking with God and try to pray with my cousin, my buddy every time, or with everybody. So
I prayed for almost every child. In case someone wasn't praying for them, then I did.
My desire is just to produce in a way that would honor God, that my efforts there, Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, do it heartily as for the Lord rather than for men. If you really live that and you believe it, it takes the pressure off because you're not worried about impressing people. You want to do what you do to honor the Lord with it.
Please, God, let me be safe. Yeah, just that. And not just for me, but for everybody. You know, the rodeo guys and the stock and just protection.
I mean, you're struggling maybe, and you're praying for God to help you get to the next one or whatever, and then there's times you're just praying that everything goes good. And I mean, most of the time that's what I was praying over my friends, praying over the event, stuff like that. So
I was at a memorial bull riding for a friend of mine. He was killed down there in a car accident down in Texas, John Shea. And I was actually down there with him a day or two before he was killed.
Guy making his mark in the professional bull riders, a great young athlete, the whole future ahead of him. Ty and I both knew him well. He was really, really close with Ty.
So we were at his memorial bull riding one year in Delta, Colorado. The TV station was there, and I was kind of their person of the night for some reason.
I want to see if I can't kind of be on the judge's side for 1 minute.
One of the guys that I would compare Ty to was his traveling partner, Cody Custer, the world champion bull rider. If you look at any world champion that loves the sport, and then you add not only natural ability that some of them have, but the work ethic, and Ty had both. He was a natural athlete, and he worked like he was a guy that had no athletic ability. He was going to do everything it took to be at his very best.
First bull I was 84 points on, and the second bull that I had drawn that night was a bull that John Shea had raised. His name was Johnny Rotten.
This is Ty Rinaldo of Grand Junction, Colorado. And this might be the match of the night. The bull he has drawn is called Johnny Rotten.
Number 90 was his brand number, and he was very dreaded. I mean, nobody wanted to draw him, and nobody wanted to get on him.
One of the top PBR bull riders had him the night before Ty had him. I think it was Troy Dunn. I think Troy lasted like 2 jumps.
You know, guys would find out that they had him drawn, and you still have to pay your entry fees, and you also have to pay a turnout fine, but you just don't get on him. You know, save yourself for next week. I wasn't very smart. I got on him, and it was almost like he knew when your upper body was being slammed forward, because he'd throw his head back and just, you know, meet you in the middle.
He's one of those bulls, like the famous Bodacious, that unless you really bared down and tried, he wasn't going to jerk you down. The only guys he really hit and hurt were guys that were intense competitors that were going to try to the very end.
Ty Rinaldo, rather, is the kind of guy
When he was getting on that bull, took his rap, and he was just about ready to nod his head, and Jack Shea was standing behind there.
Johnny's dad.
Johnny Shea's dad. And Ty looked up at him and he said, "This is for you, Mr. Shea."
Get shit right. A bull called Johnny Rock. Go, do it! Wow, out. Paramedics, I believe we may need to see you. Paramedics, if you would please report to the arena.
Give him some room, guys. Give him some room. Give him some air.
Oh. It was really hard. He and Danny, our other son, was there. They both went into the arena and went over by it.
He was just laying there unconscious. We were standing over him there, and they decided to take him to the hospital. They worked on him there for a while at Delta in the hospital, and then I heard him say that they were bringing the Flight for Life. One of our best friends was a nurse on that helicopter. And later she said, we didn't know who we were picking up. But she said, when I walked in the door and saw you sitting there, she said, I knew it was Ty.
What were your injuries?
Just a closed head injury, severe concussion. I was in a coma and unconscious, and came around. I said one word, and then I was out for a couple days again.
You know, when you have a good friend that has that kind of injury, you're not even thinking about a career. You're just thinking about the rest of his life, and so that was a tough night for me.
My first memory coming back after about a 2-year period was realizing how slow I talked, and knowing what you say to me or what you said to me, and I couldn't talk back to you, and that was really, really frustrating. I mean, my brain knew what I wanted to say to you, like, that's a very nice shirt, but I couldn't make my brain and my mouth connect, and I talked very slow, and it drove me crazy.
He was goofy. He didn't remember anybody. He got mad at us because he had to come to our house and stay while people worked. And he always said, "You're not my babysitter." He was mad all the time and stayed out on the porch and worked on his spurs. He realized that he couldn't have taken another one.
You just can't do what you love to do, you know? And the doctors tell you, oh, you don't do this anymore. Every time you get hurt, they tell you shouldn't do it anymore, and for good reason, and it's, you know, they have to say that. But this time was different. And they told me, as much as I'd been knocked out through the years, that if I ever got knocked out again, whether it be a car wreck or a baseball or a bull's head or whatever, that I probably wouldn't wake up again. So
Ty was a prodigy in my estimation. He was the best student I ever coached. He was phenomenal when he came in. He was already dominating in high school rodeo, and was going to go on dominating college and make an incredible impact in professional rodeo. And then the head injury came. I believe he would have been a world champion.
You know, I remember when Lane Frost got killed. Lane and I were good friends, and just a really good guy and everything. And I was injured at the time of Lane's death. And the first bull that I came back, when I came back riding, I was going to Garden City, Kansas. And I remember thinking on the way there, I was like, this is it. I'm going to find out tonight if I really want to do this or not. And I had a bull that was kind of not a great bull, but he's a big bull with big horns, and kind of swiped his old horns past your face, and kind of scary. And, you know, the best bull rider going gets killed. everybody behind him is thinking, if he can be killed, I can be killed. And I went to that rodeo deciding whether I was going to continue to be a bull rider. And I just remember being in the middle of that bull and horns swinging by my face and everything. I was like, man, I love this. And I never thought again about quitting until I did quit.
Lyle Sankey does a school here at our house twice a year in May and September, and it's going to show you the basics of how to be successful.
What else do you need help with?
The best practice comes from drills and things that you have 100% control over. And that's kind of like your homework. And then you go to the bucking shoots for a real bull and you test your progress. Slides, good job, good job. You know, Lyle Sankey was in the 70s and 80s one of, I believe it's 3 guys ever have qualified for the National Finals Rodeo in all 3 of the rough stock events, the bareback riding, the saddle bronc riding, and the bull riding together.
Right there in that training unit is where you're going to learn to ride. I was the 3rd cowboy to qualify for the national finals in all 3 rough stock. After me, and probably the last one that will ever do that, is Ty Murray. And the reason I say that is with the professional bull riders now, the money's so great. For somebody to stay around at that level would be difficult. That would have been hard for me to pass up because the ranker bulls were really my strength. If you can have your hand above your elbow and your elbow bent, you have a tremendous amount of control.
I mean, he really studies the sport and wants to learn and know as much about every aspect of bull riding, bareback riding, and bronc riding so that he can pass that on to new people.
Climb up. There you go. The rodeo schools that I attended as a student had a dramatic impact on my future and on my career. And it's been really fun to pass that on to others. We've had world champs. We've had guys that have led the field from youth rodeo to high school to college to the professional ranks. And it's just fun to see that. Some of those guys have exceeded my earnings. Of course, there's a lot more money in the sport now, but it's really fun to see those guys go on and be successful.
Yeah, level good. Right there, you're square. Good job, perfect.
I grew up going to rodeos with my dad.
Good job.
Figured I'm as young as I'll ever be, so give it a shot. See what happens.
I grew up on a lot of ranches in Nevada and was always interested in the sport and went to a lot of rodeos. Ever since then, I've just been crazy about it and never really had the opportunity.
You guys are training your minds right here, so make sure you do it perfect. Feet in front of your rope.
Dad didn't really care, but Mom was scared.
Yeah, I wasn't too excited about the idea.
Yeah.
But he always likes to do things that nobody else in the family's ever done that are kind of risk-taking, so I knew it wasn't good to argue with him, and he'd keep pursuing it, so I thought it was a good idea for him.
New guys or girls coming into a clinic or going to a school to learn how to ride is going to save them so much time and so much money. You know, it's a great plan for them to invest in themselves and spend the upfront cost and go learn everything they can in 2 or 3 days at a school. The equipment, how to ride a bull, how to get off one, the dismount, the hang-up procedure, the shoot procedure, and learn how to go home and work on drills. And that way they're not going to rodeos for 3 or 4 or 5 summers and trying to learn how to ride bulls, and their buddies who are doing nothing but trying to help them that may not really know how to do it or know the steps to make it easy to learn. If there is a safe way to learn how to ride bulls, this is definitely it. Free hand all the way up. Feet in front of your rope. Pick your butt up and be nodding right there. like you to jump down and go back in that corner and look. And just make sure everything's okay.
Yes, sir.
It's not bleeding and make sure it's all right.
Oh, it got me on the chest, right on the nads, a little bit on the foot. Other than that, it was a pretty good ride, I'd say.
Okay, well, it popped here and then this popped here, so I can't.
Is it rolled up?
No, but I can't straighten my arm.
Keep my hand above my elbow.
You see where you're on your back?
Yeah.
But you are doing the thing that will help you. You got to get your shoulders up in front of that boulder. And then you could go to sleep, take a nap up there. Here.
You know, like I said yesterday, it's bull riding's a verb, man. You got to be moving. It's not a title or a pickup line. We need you in that home base position right here. And the reason for that is if he were to turn back away from your hand or into your hand, you need to be right there to make that move.
Okay. That's an amazing first time. For
That
a
is
guy
great.
as big as you are, that may be as good as I've ever seen anybody do on a first time. That's really well done. How you leave the buck and shoot, that first jump is the stage for the ride. You got to get this. And then, remember Ty said as you're scooting up, you're nodding?
And that's important, guys, that the bull is looking towards the gate.
If you have to talk yourself into doing anything, you don't have the passion for it. If you can't go home, go to bed at night and sleep because you didn't do it, then you'll know.
I just gotta keep working on getting that free arm control. Keep that elbow out front, home base. We'll get her done.
Wishing I could have gotten on again, you know, but that's just part of it. There's always other bulls to get on, and I'll be back.
Yeah, home base, home base, home base.
Bruised up my leg a bit, my chest a little bit, and then I tore some stuff down in the groin, and split them open, and they had to go glue it back together, and so I couldn't get on because I didn't want to rip that apart again. Like JB Mooney always says, you know, if you can't put it out of your mind for 8 seconds, then you may as well not be doing it. You know, other than that, it wasn't too bad. I can still walk.
I see a lot of guys out there that are just okay with being mediocre. What sets the greats apart from the rest of the rest of the field is that they're determined to excel. Yesterday doesn't matter.
Yeah, these ones are a couple $100. Custom made. They keep me motivated.
Probably help you ride better.
Put all this money into it. You gotta keep at it.
Keep your face back here instead of, at one point it's right down here. You can get your head knocked out.
What's up?
Good job. Like I said, he was going, if he hadn't have been there, he may not have. It's almost like he's going to see you and want to come that way, but if nothing's there, he may just jump and kick down the pins.
Gotcha.
I mean, I think he did great on that.
Bullfighters are lifesavers, you know. I mean, they used to be called clowns a long time ago, and those guys hate that. They're there to distract the bull when the guy either jumps off or more likely gets bucked off. The bullfighters, they know how the bull is moving and where to go, and they call it shooting the gap, where the bullfighter steps in between the fallen rider and the bull to distract the bull, to take the bull away so the rider can get out free. And they're also there for hang-ups, you know, to keep the bull lined out so that the rider can take care of business and get himself out of the hang-up.
That's a good one to end it on, man. Things are coming in.
I was going to say that
Yeah.
might have been the biggest effort I've seen all week. That dropped his elbow. That's huge. That's huge. Guys, I appreciate so much y'all being here. Appreciate you making the school possible. You get to learn a little bit about handling livestock and what it's all about to be in that business. I think there were some sensational efforts today.
I'll tell you what, Brian, this man is going to go places. I really appreciate having you here. Thanks, buddy. Nolan wins the ride-off. Thank you very much. Wonderful to work with you. You bet.
Thank you. You know, with the media coverage in rodeo today, gosh, it opens so many more doors in business for the future, for the present, you know, from endorsements to future career ops and sponsorships.
It's been more work I've ever put into any school, and I think that's where it made the difference for me. I'm really honored to accept something like this. I didn't really expect it, honestly.
Great job.
Go picture.
The TZ brand was originated in Colorado in 1864. My grandpa and grandma bought the brand with the ranch in Livermore, Colorado. It's a funny story. My grandpa said, "I'll buy the ranch," to the little old lady that was selling it, "but the brand has to go with it." And the lady said, "Oh no, I'm not selling that brand. Brand does not go with it." Grandpa said, "Okay." So they went their separate ways for a couple days, and then the lady called my grandpa back and said, "The brand goes with the ranch." My grandpa had it on registered quarter horses and traveled the country showing horses. And it was bittersweet, you know. He told me one day he had the brand card and he said, "You know, I'll never brand anything again." So he gave that brand to me, and it's been on everything that we've owned since. I remember sitting in class in junior high, and I've still got the lists of bulls, you know, and the teachers thought I was taking notes for class, but I was writing bull names down and what they looked like, you know, like Indian Summer, you know, just bull names that I'd heard going through the years, and I've got the list. I can't remember any bull names, but I mean, I would write their name down and what they looked like, and maybe their bucking pattern. And all right, well, one day I'm gonna have bulls like this one day, and so here we are.
He's been to all the PBR finals, the NFR.
He loves his bulls.
As stock contractors, we've been to the NFR and PBR finals in 04, 05, 07, 08, and 15. And it's a long haul to get there. They watch your bulls all year, so you're trying to do the best job you can at home to keep them in shape, keep them bucked regularly. It's a lot of work to get to the finals. You know, once you get there, it's kind of nerve-wracking and scary, but it's sure fun. I believe that as well as feeding these bulls right and keeping them in shape, maybe the most important part of my job as a bull owner is to make sure it's a good experience for these bulls. Because I'll tell you what, it doesn't take much for them to want to quit. The main thing with the young bull is bringing them up through the alleys and just teaching them that nothing's going to hurt them. The first couple times they do it, they're scared, they don't really know what's going on. But then after a while, they realize that, hey, there's nothing to this. You know, nobody's going to hurt me. And we bring them up the alleys, we put them in the chute, we leave them in the chute for a little bit, and get a broom and brush their back. And the first couple times, they kind of throw a fit, but then they get used to it. They know nobody's going to hurt them. And after a while, when they're ready, we put a remote-controlled dummy on them. And this dummy's a 25-pound box that's all padded underneath, and it's got a pen in it with the remote control. And we let that bull go 2 or 3 or 4 seconds and just kind of see what he does, and push the pen and he bucks it off. And you can kind of see in his eyes that he's like, hey, I bucked that thing off. So next time you bring him in, he's going to try a little harder, and it's fun. Bucking is, you know, it's not easy. I mean, they're in a professional sport. It's like a football player going to practice every day. I mean, it's tough. You know, we work them. They enjoy it, but we work them. If you make it not a positive experience for them, they could very well quit. I was at the first PBR event that I ever took bulls to in Nampa, Idaho. I was totally out of place. I didn't know what to do or how to do it, and pulled into Nampa, Idaho, and unloaded the bulls, and it was great. And Justin McBride, the PBR world champ, who I've got a ton of respect for as a bull rider and an announcer and just a great, polite man. Justin had my bull drawn that night, and he was 91 points on him that night. I never thought about selling any bulls that I had. I just had a handful of bulls and was kind of the smallest guy, and probably still am, in the biggest professional part of bull riding, the PBR. I was walking across the parking lot the next morning after we fed our bulls or whatever, and Chad Berger, or this Suburban, pulls up to me, and the back window rolls down, and I'd never met Chad, but the back window rolls down, and Chad said, "What do you want for that gray bull?" And I said, I knew who he was, but I said, I don't really want to sell him. He said, "Oh, I think you do." And so we made a deal that right there. You know, the money is in buying and selling. You can either keep the bull and take him to the NFR, or take him to the PBR World Finals. You know, hope they do good again next year, and maybe they'll do really well. Or you can sell them You know, when somebody offers you some money for them, you know, take it. You might have to sit home that year during the NFR or the PBR World Finals, but, you know, your bull's there, and you sold him for a good amount of money. We sold a bull years ago that went to the PBR World Finals twice after we sold him. We took him once, then he went 2 more times after we sold him.
There's a more concentrated quality of good bucking bulls now than there was back when me and Ty were going. It's more of a riding contest. Back in the day, like I'd call back for a rodeo and know what bull I had, and I was like thinking, yeah, I'm gonna win this one easy. Or, oh my God, I gotta get on that one.
A good bucking bull is just like a good bull rider. A bull that conserves his energy and relaxes and is patient. And when he goes in the bucking chute, he knows it's time for business.
I talk to JB Mooney quite often, and he doesn't even find out what he has. He doesn't care. He gets to the event. He's just got to do a job, and he knows that. And I guess that's a really good way to go at it.
Modern day horse. Rodeo will be a part of me forever. You know, I can't ride anymore, but it's a great way to stay involved. It's a great way to see my old friends that I used to travel with and hang out with. We'll put 2 bulls in the front, 6 in the middle, and 4 in the back. Okay. I would compare professional bull riding to MMA fighting. It's one-on-one, you give it all you got, hope you're the winner at the end. They're massive, they're strong, they're powerful. They're fun to be around.
I know that stock contractors, they have more than just bringing a bull in and letting it buck. I mean, there's a lot of preparation and a lot of care that goes on to attending to these animals. I mean, it's just not a farm animal that's out in the pasture and you turn out and go get it. No, there's a lot of like training, keeping these bulls in shape. It's an everyday task to attend to one of these animals, and without the stock contractors and the bulls, I mean, that's half the sport. Without that, we couldn't have bull riding if it wasn't for good animal athletes.
It's fun to take them to a rodeo, and I remember pulling up to a rodeo one day and 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 kids run up to the fence and they're watching to see what bulls you unload and what he bring today, you know, and I just like that. Fly spray. Poor guys have flies crawling all over them all the time, so I like to get them in here in the trailer and spray them down, just taking care of them a little bit.
He's always been providing good quality stock everywhere I've been to see. He doesn't raise as many bulls as other people, but he'll buy them from people and really takes his time and tries to get the right ones.
We have the El Paso County Fair bull riding tonight. We're bucking 40 big bulls, and we've got an intermission section of mini bulls, the little guys with 9 to 11-year-olds. 30 guys will compete on the big bulls, and the top 10 of those 30 will go to the finals tonight. And they've hired us to put the bull riding on. Every time one comes out of the chute, that's called an out. And they pay you a certain amount per out, and that's how we buy more hay and buy more grain and vet bills and maintenance bills. It costs me $500 every time I go get a pallet of grain, and hay prices are going up and up.
That's good.
I got one more trailer coming like this, and then the semi.
I'll go, I'll run over and get the keys to that backhoe over there. And then once that trailer comes, we'll drag that sucker over here and get it set up.
Or we could try to move by hand.
She's a little hefty.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Ready? Yep. Yeah, hang on. That'll work, bud. I truly hope I've been able to spread the truth about how bulls are treated to a lot of people. I was getting on a plane to Atlanta wearing my cowboy hat, and I've got a rodeo bag, and sitting next to this businessman, and he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Oh, Atlanta for a bull ride." And he said, "Oh." And so we got to talking about Buckin Bulls, and told him that I owned some Buckin Bulls and meet him out. "Oh, well, Well, you'd buck too if somebody, strapped a rope around your privates. That's a terrible misconception. And I'll tell you, by the end of our flight, that man knew the truth, and I believe he believed the truth. Maybe he even came to the bull riding that night. I don't know. I hope he did. Whether they're against rodeo or not, I just love it when people come out and they see us interact with these bulls and how we treat them and how well respected they are. TZ hooks. What do? You drop the flank or the bull rope on the outside of the bull, and you reach under the bull with this hook so that you don't have to reach under it with your arm. The flank goes around their flank exactly like a belt goes on us, and it actually about the same tightness as a belt on a human to hold your pants up. It doesn't touch their privates. It doesn't go. I mean, think about that. Who would be the poor, unlucky person to have to reach under there and wrap that flank around there? I mean, and it would be harmful to the bulls, and that's not what we're after. So it doesn't touch anything, any part of their privates. It just goes right around their flank, and it's just a reminder for them to kick. They're trying to kick the flank off. It's kind of like tickling somebody or getting tickled under your armpits. It's not. It doesn't hurt. It's not uncomfortable. It's just you pull away from it, and you don't want them to tickle you. So that's kind of like the flank on a bull. They're trying to kick it off. We're going to be setting up a turnback fence here in a little bit, and it's a fence to make the bull riding arena smaller. When the bulls come out, they're going to spin right here close and do their job. After the guy's off or gets bucked off or jumps off, the bull's gone. If we leave it this great big arena, the bull's going to be gone. We'll have to have guys on horseback to maybe rope the bull or get the bull out. That really makes the performance long. And that way, when the bull's done with his job, we open the out gate right here. The bull sees the out gate. He's going to come right through here into the strip and shoot. They'll close that slide gate behind him. When he goes through there, they'll pull the flank off, and then he goes back to eat his dinner.
He loves every aspect of it. I mean, there's not anything about bull riding that Ty doesn't love. He loves the excitement it creates for the fans. He loves the challenge that it is for the athletes that are getting on those bulls. Bulls that want to buck are going to be rare and hard to find, and Ty loves that search. He loves producing those winners.
Fun family deal. My boys they've learned a lot about taking care of animals and hard work. I think ranch and farm kids, just Western kind of kids are good, hard-working people anyway, but my kids, they really know how to work. And we all pitch in, all four of us, and do our best to make it work.
My dad says not to get into the business, but I don't know. I'd like to stay with these guys as much as I can and maybe help them here and there, but I'm not really sure what my future holds with these guys. Hopefully I can stay in this sport as much as possible. I could flank them real quick and then flag, or?
No, you need to be in the arena.
Okay.
Do you want to flank too? Because
it don't matter to me, I don't care.
We got to have the same person flagging the whole night though. If you don't want to do it,
you can't switch?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it don't matter.
El Paso County Fair asked for bids to put on a bull riding, and they chose us to produce the bull riding part of this fair here this week. Checked all the bulls in. Now guys are checking in, the riders are checking in. Prior to the event, it's our responsibility to take all the entries, to find the guys that want to come, to set up some of the sponsorships. We have $5,000 added. So the guys pay a $100 entry fee, and that money is put into a pot, and then we take $5,000 more and put it into that pot, and then we split that up. Of the 30 bull riders, we're taking 10 of those 30 to a championship round, the short go. 6 guys of the 30 tonight will get paid. We're bringing mini bulls, 10 mini bull riders to be a little extra event. And it's always really rewarding to see a grandstand full of people, and hopefully they're enjoying what they're watching. Thanks for having your chaps on and being ready. Good job, fellas. These little kids are getting on 2 bulls tonight in the 2 different sections. The guy's names go in a hat, the bull's numbers go in a hat, and it's a random draw to see which bull they get. Otherwise, everybody'd always pick the easy one. If the guy nods for him and the bull's looking towards the back, and you start opening it, just feed him slow until, yeah, perfect. And don't rip that gate out of his hands.
I'm going to be announcing tonight. You just want to give the crowd a show. You want to make sure it's just great for them. So my nerves get worked up, and my mind's just making sure everything is ready to go. Stock contractor's ready, because I don't want to start without him, so I don't leave them behind.
Tonight will be the flag man. I'm just a guy that tells the secretary when to start and stop the clock. When they're about to buck, that's when I'll flick my flag, and that'll be the start of the stopwatch for the 8 seconds. I'm kind of like a backup if the judges' stopwatches don't work. Should we slow down? No, I'm serious. I don't want anybody to miss it.
And I want to introduce those cowboys to you right now. Jesus Ortega, Avery Moreno.
We pray that the stock bucks hard and the cowboys are sticky and that all stay safe and healthy. And it's in his name we pray. Amen.
Are you guys ready for some bull riding?
That horn hit him right smack in the head. There you go, get out of there, let's go. Giuliano is from Sao Paulo, Brazil. This is a guy in finish in the top 30 in the world. I'll give you a number and you go just tell the number, okay? How many of you out there in the crowd are voting for this next guy to make the whistle? To make a full 8-second ride? Who's on this bull, guys? Can we roll him to the front and just hold him for a little bit? Go ahead, guys. Thank you. Go, Brennan! Go! Go! You're good. You're good. Good job, man. Good job. Tucker! Get his score! 77.5. Oh, wait, what?
Go on the other side?
Yeah, go on the other side. Roll him all the way up, guys. He'll be our re-ride. Clay, this next kid is from the Seminole Indian tribe. He lives in Brighton, Florida. Be ready. Is he okay? Okay, let's go. Go ahead, Mike. You're all right. You guys ready over here? Come on, guys. Get him out of there. Aren't these kids cool? These are 9 to 11-year-old little kids. They take a little bit longer in the chute, but they're young and they're scared and they're just kind of learning. These are full-grown bulls. It's like they were stuck in the microwave and shrunk them.
Are you all ready to watch this cowboy to make him qualified right this time?
75.5. Who's up? You guys ready? Do I have ink on my mouth? I just rubbed my mouth in it. Okay, thanks. With an option. You're winning it, right? Who's next? It's flashbang. Hey! Hey! Fake out. Huh? You all right? Good job, bud. Hey, good job, fellas. How about the try of these little kids? I mean, that kid would not turn loose. 336 flashbang over here, big black bull. Good job, guys. Bring it, we got room. Up. Up. Go ahead, Cody, I think we're about ready. Get on this other one first, he's in. Give him a chance to breathe. He'll probably be all right, guys. Thank you. He's good. Thank you, guys. You know, these cowboys, you can't tell them anything. 46, boom shakalaka. Purebred Brahma bull. He's got the big hump and the floppy brisket. Guys really like to draw him. He's a nice bucking bull. Can they hear me over there? This is 336 flashback. This is the hardest bucking bull we own. This bull bucks really hard. That bull's got every trick in the book. I'll tell you what, that is a bucking bull right there.
Another TZ Buckin Bull. Some of the best bulls in the business here in this short go.
Fun night. Kelton Smedley from Florida. There's your beautiful buckle. Great job, buddy.
Appreciate that.
Devin Burbank is the 2018 El Paso County Fair Champion Mini Bull Rider. Good job, buddy. Good job, bud.
All right, now cover that thing up.
Oh, good job!
Good job, buddy. Thanks, man.
You guys want to break down some panels? You know, the thing we always hope and pray for is that no cowboy or animal gets hurt. Good job, boys. It's always good to see your rodeo friends and see some good bull rides. We had an 82 and an 87 point ride and great crowd. And El Paso County Fair was a great group to work with. Just had a good time.
It's not my dream, it's his dream, but I'm not gonna just sit around and watch him.
I'm not nervous yet, but it might be different once I get in there.
Gonna be a dream come true.
Every time I'm watching, I'm thinking I've got to try it at least once before I die.
Jump out of planes for fun, so it can't be too bad.
Same thing, so got to try it, you know.
Today's the day. Give it a shot.
Love this so much that you want. Good job.
I think the attraction for someone in the bull riding is that whole danger element and to do something that no one else has done.
You guys don't feel like you're getting on the caliber that you need, man, please tell me, because we'll bring some.
It's different for everybody else, but I think to watch it on television is one thing. To then step out of your comfort zone and actually get on, it changes everything. And I have guys that have come to the schools just for that reason.
The whole thing that you're trying to accomplish is to stay on the back of the bull for 8 seconds. That's pretty simple in that description, right? But there is tons of details in it. And success is in those details.
The angle of my lines in my hand are going that way.
It's very important to me to teach people the right way and showing them the right and the correct and the safest way to do it.
I'll ride you.
As a right-handed bull rider, when a bull goes into my hand, or excuse me, to the right, that's into my hand.
A lot of guys can coach if it's guys that are going to be competitive on the big stage. Every individual is important to Ty, and that's what I've always tried to do at our rodeo schools. We want every student to leave knowing they were the most important student there.
We call the position you need to be in home base, and that's 2 words so that you know what to relate to. So this is our home base position right here.
To be a good coach, you have to first of all love what you're coaching, and there's no doubt that he loves the sport.
From this home base position, when the bull rears, when his front end comes up, we're getting up off our butt, keeping our chin tucked, looking there, and you've got to be going the same direction the bull's going. He's going forward, so you've got to be moving forward too. Remember I told you bull riding's a verb. It's not a title or a name. You got to be moving. Land, and when you land, I want it to be real. Okay, it doesn't take any practice to haul ass out of here. Go. Hand hat level. Good. That's excellent, except for this. I want this right out here in front. Go, go, good, good. I really tore my knee up bad at the college national finals one year in the first go-round. I got off a bull and I got off bad, and once I heard the whistle, man, I was so pleased. I just didn't even care about the rest of it. And people have died after the whistle. And it's as much a part of this as the shoot procedure, as the riding procedure. The dismount is important and can be deadly. I didn't look, arch, and follow through and land back here. I just kind of stepped off, and I landed right here like this. And I got up to run, and he put his head right here and pushed it down and tore 3 of the ligaments in my knee. And then I jumped up on the fence and didn't even really try to get over, and he hit me again and smashed it into the fence. And so please don't just get to the fence, but get over. Try to kind of pull your knees in a little bit. Good job. Keeping your shoulders in front of your hips. Good job. That's great. A lot of guys, especially muscled up guys, man, they get up there with their t-shirts and you can see all these bulges. Here's that big muscle dude we're talking about.
See, if it works like this.
When you hear home base, I want it to go to your mind what that looks like, okay? Don't just say it. Think about it, get it down to what it means. And if you do it wrong, who cares? But if you don't hustle, then I really care. And if you open your hand, most of the time you're gonna come right out.
Here, I can lock in with you up here and stay in my spot and get you out.
Bull riding in Spanish is called jineteando. Jineteando, that's just the same thing, bull riding. All my life, my grandpa and my family members have all done it. We've all been rodeoing up. We get into charro stuff a lot, just Mexican bull riding, and I've always just followed it with my cousin.
Good job. Hey, that was excellent.
My goal is to make it to the big leagues, rodeos, and get up there as much as fast as possible. Just try to make money, build ranch and stuff, you know. Get my own programs going just like they have here.
Chin down. Remember that. That's what we got to work on. Look, Arch, follow through, go. You land this way, and you go as he's going that way. Land low, go. Good job, man. That's all right. That's what I'm looking for. I would almost rather see you land with your knees bent and touching the ground than landing straight up. That was outstanding. If you think you're ready for bulls this afternoon, great. If not, probably even better. Carry it just like that to where it looks like you didn't just fall off the potato truck. Those judges see you coming across the arena dragging your rope, they're probably gonna think, guess that guy doesn't ride very good. I shake my bells to the center. That's why we have that big gap on our bell loop, our bell strap. I put this right in his back. Just snug that up a little bit. I lay it right over the top of my handhold. You don't pull it tight. Those stock contractors will get mad because they'll think you're cheating the bull, cutting the wind out of them. So it's just barely snug. I go down between the strands of my body, of my bull rope, and you do that. Okay, you want to start at the bottom and come up, and you want to get that rosin warm. 3 or 4 times both ways is good, slack. You want to warm up your handle. Turn your hand over, hand all the way against your riser and your rope. With your free hand, you need to grab the body. As he's pulling, it's going to want to slide this. And if you don't have a hold of it, you're gonna say, oh crap, wait. Now the stock contractor's mad, the arena director's mad, the crowd's mad. They don't want to see your crap in here. They want to see you try to ride this bull. That gate opens, boom, I'm right there. If you're like this, you've got to make a move to get to home base. We're trying to limit the moves. With more moves, there's more mistakes.
Anxious, terrified. I just can't believe it's already over.
It doesn't matter if you're upside down, you gotta have your chin focused and looking back up there to where you want to go.
The rodeo schools are unique in so many ways, but the risk factor is there, and it goes up dramatically if a student is not plugged in, if they're not dialed into what we're doing. And the safety things, I know it seems like we come across really hard sometimes, but when we do, it's not about a ride technique or whether they're gonna dial in there or not. That's gonna be up to them and where their future is. But if it's a safety issue that affects them there at the rodeo school, then we have them reevaluate it, try to get them to make notes because the risk factor is so high. That's when the intensity steps up a few levels, is to keep them safe.
Hey guys, did we ever say anything about when you get off, just stand there? You see the freaking horns on that bull? That was not good, man. That was a great ride, a great start, and a terrible finish. You've got to save your life. You've got to get your butt out of there.
Okay.
Please, I don't want you hurt. You've got a lot of talent. You need to show us that from start to finish. Just get your butt out of there when it's over. Sometimes you got to be stern, but there's, most of it, there's a time to be stern. Most of the time, it's patience, letting them make some mistakes. But this is a very dangerous sport, and if they're doing something that, could get them injured, we kind of have to raise our voice from time to time. And I make sure that you compliment them every time they do the smallest thing correct. I'm sure to compliment them on that. You were the last one here last night. You are really trying to learn. I want you to finish it right here.
Yes, sir.
I'm proud of you, man. You're working hard. Remember we talked about yesterday about how you deserve to win?
Yes, sir.
Win.
Got it.
Now listen to Joe.
Got it.
So stay focused right here.
Home base. Home base. Home base. Home base. Great job not quitting. You refused to quit.
Yes,
Your butt was over there, and the only reason for that is that bull's coming out at 60 miles an hour, and you're coming out at 40. Just enough to get behind. Okay? And that's what gets you behind right out of there. But it's hard to catch up.
Right.
They're kind of scooting out through there. They're not really kicking to help you stay up on your rope.
Yes, sir.
And when you get behind like that, it's tough to catch up.
Yeah.
So if he comes out at 50 miles an hour, you got to do the exact same.
Okay.
You can't move faster than him, but you dang sure can't move slower than him. Okay?
Got it.
Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. There's a lot going on, and it's hard for them to hear. Why are you hanging on with this hand? It's only one-handed out here. In the bucking shoe, you gotta have two hands. They've got a helmet on, they've got 1,000 things going through their mind. They're about to get on a 1,600 pound full-grown bucking bull that they've maybe never been on before. Did you take notes on any of this?
Yeah.
All right. Reach down here. Get your hand off that. Give me that hook. If I see you do that again, I'm gonna whack it right there. Okay? So they're thinking different things, and so we kind of have to raise our voice from time to time to make sure they hear us and make sure how important it is that they do it right. Behind it, behind your so that they don't cause themselves to get an injury that shouldn't happen.
get like I'm off to the side already.
Yeah.
And I think that's because I couldn't get my leg down on that right side. Because when I took him, my leg was up here because I couldn't get him to move over. So I had this leg down, this leg was up. So I think it's already had me off to the side right off the bat.
First timers, they don't realize how fast the bull is or how powerful they are, and they end up getting run off the rope right out of the gate, which leads to buck offs.
Are good?
Yep, perfect. Yeah. Put your foot there and just slide down. So your butt hits. Then find a spot for your feet. Good? All right. Then tuck it under your hand. Just keep tucking it.
Oh, it felt good. Different though than what I expected. Everything that they teach you, kind of do the best you can. It was good though. I think I've got, oh, look at that. Broke some skin.
We are having our second event of a 4 bull riding series.
It's just a little jackpot. About 20 bulls will be bucked. Just a little local event, something fun, and keep the bulls in shape. Do a little bull riding every now and then.
The weather is very icy.
It's a little chilly, but we got the heat on. We're gonna have fun. I'm picking on the paramedics over here.
We're paying tribute tonight to firefighters and EMS and police officers. You know, it's fun when you do your own events, you can kind of pay tribute to whoever you want to do, and so tonight's emergency personnel.
We are going to have a demonstration intermission tonight. It's just a good way to honor our first responders.
I'd like to thank the guys and girls for their service. Correlated with that is PTSD, and I know it's different for everybody.
We got a new call at mile marker 34, northbound, vehicle in the ditch.
I retired a year ago from 25 years in the service. And for me, it was an accumulation of bad calls and dead people and family members that are left behind, and you know, it's an accumulation of that. And for 23 years, I thought I was all right, but it was building up, and I can't imagine there's anybody out there that does that kind of work that it doesn't affect somehow. And sometimes it's quick, and sometimes, like me, it was 23 years and I didn't feel anything, and then it hit me hard.
some symptoms I've seen is, you know, he'll wake up and like have a nightmare of like a past call he's had, and sometimes he'll say that like my brother was locked in a burning car and he couldn't get him out. You know, just little, you know, things like that. You know, relating his family to a call that he was just on is kind of what I've seen for PTSD, or like different things he doesn't like to see. Like in a movie, there might be a scene where he doesn't like if someone, you know, is dead, or, you know, just things like that.
I think it's so different for every individual that, you know, people don't know how to act around us or how to help us, and I'm not even sure myself. So, no, I don't think it is understood very well. The thing that I've been encouraging my son getting into the service, and anybody else, I've had several people recently, young guys, that are getting into the service and the fire service, and you know, I encourage them to get help soon, you know, and not when they think they need help, because I think it's too late at that time. I think they need to be seeing a counselor, and they need to be talking about things, or a family member, or whoever they're comfortable talking with. They need to get that stuff off their chest. Because for me, it was 23 years, 23-year buildup, and then it explodes.
Do it.
How many people have actually used a fire extinguisher? First thing you do is pull the pin. You aim the nozzle towards the base of the fire. Third thing you do is squeeze the handle and sweep.
This is an episode of Cops that he's shooting now.
Taylor just bet me $500 that he could ride this bull. I hope he rides it.
He kind of came down on top of my chest and kind of knocked the air out of me a little bit. So he just likes to move around a lot in the chute and trying to knock you out. I couldn't beat him to that first jump out, and it was rough. It was really rough.
We put on a bull ride at Castle Rock every year. There's a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of cost that goes into it, and we have to set up all these pens, the bucking chutes, the alleys, the gates, the slide gates, everything. We gotta build it all, and then hang all the banners and get everything ready for the spectators and the riders and the bulls.
A good time, you know, you get to see friends that you haven't seen for a while from out of state, and it's just a good family event.
I can't do it, Captain. I can't do it.
You know, he has so many good people that help him to set up the arena. The way Ty is, they want to help.
Ty, he's one hell of a guy. He's goofy. He's strict, but he makes sure everyone's taken care of.
This place costs thousands of dollars to rent. and to attract the riders and the bull guys with added money. I mean, all of that is by sponsorship. Then you have to take the entries. You find an entry day that'll fit your schedule, and there's a lot of work that goes into it, but it's fun. I always enjoy game days, so it's worth it. So let me ask you, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
So what do you think about this event?
Oh, I love this event.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
So I just had this lady named Cindy text me and say, "Hey Ty, I know we've never met. I was just wondering if you know if tomorrow night's bull riding is sold out. I'd like to take my mom for her 92nd birthday. She loves bull riding." And I said back to her, "If it is sold out, I will still get you in. I don't think it will sell out. Please find me when you get here. I would like to talk about her during the show. Thank you." You gotta have a crowd, and you gotta make it enjoyable, and you've gotta make it long enough, but not too long, affordable, good family fun.
As all you fans are coming into the arena, we're about 1 hour away from bull riding time. The most challenging part of my job is getting all the information put together so I have things to say to the crowd, to give them information about what we're doing, the Western way of life, enough information they feel a part of what's going on today, and they're enjoying what they are hearing and seeing, and it gets it all put together in a storybook. So if it's their first time to a bull riding, you know, they kind of know, hey, these bulls are loved, they love to do what they do, they're athletes. We try to educate the crowd. Enjoy your time while you're here with us today. Go do some shopping, show some love to all the vendors, and we are so glad to have you all here.
A successful event, to me, first and foremost, is that everybody's safe. You know, we prayed this morning for a safe event for both animals and riders and workers. And then, of course, you want to make some money so that you can do a better one next year. I guess you got me on the microphone so I can't cuss.
It's a tough job babysitting him.
I'll tell you what, I'm so thankful and so blessed. I mean, I've got guys coming from Texas and all the southern states where bull riding is huge. And they're like, we can't even get 25 guys. How do you get 90 guys? And I've got 90 guys entered. Plus I've got 25 or 30 guys on an alternate list that will be here just in case somebody gets hurt or somebody doesn't show up, and they're ready to get on. Okay guys, hey, get strapped up, and just like, hey, would you lead them out there? Come here for a second. I mean, it's nothing I do or nothing, you know, it's nothing from me or us. It's just, it's good timing, and it's a great location. It's a month after Denver's stock show rodeo, and it's good timing. There's not a lot going on in the rodeo world. You know, we get a lot of bulls coming to compete, and we get a lot of riders coming to compete. So every night I update all the changes. You know, bulls might get sick, or they might be lame, or stock contractors just want to change a bull, and riders get hurt, or riders are sick, or riders' truck breaks down. So I have a lot of changes within that 2-week period when you've got 90 bulls and 90 riders coming up. All right, bring the riders that are supposed to be here. They either need to be here.
He was here. He has 3 bulls. And he can't get.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So can he pick?
Yeah, just pick. I'm sorry. Don't film me when I get mad. This first track, closest to us. You guys got tickets to get in here? Yeah! I'm looking for that guy that's been trying to get in the bull riding. Hey, little minis, once I get all the big bull riders in and make a line, I want you to go line up in front of them and try to center yourself. Is he in this afternoon or tonight? If you're in the first couple sections, it should be posted somewhere. Yeah, get your ropes on, guys.
Hey, how are you?
You know what, guys? They got to figure it out. You guys line up in front of the bull riders, okay? That first bull right there. Let's start at 12:05. No, put him in the middle. Start here, go up there,
Dakota Moore, Brody Fisbeck, and Haas Davis. Make some noise for all the bull riders here today.
You guys in the first 10 riders? First 10? First 10? Yeah. Okay, when everybody bows their head to pray, go back and get ready.
Protect them. Let them compete for your glory. Keep them safe and healthy, Lord. And we pray over the livestock here today. We thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, who died for our sins. And in his name we pray.
When Clayton is talking, he's the main announcer. J.D. Schultz has also got a microphone on. He's the entertainer. There's not much time or room for me to talk. Would you please go tell him 3, 2, 1, 4. That's the first 4. Every now and then there might be something I know that these guys don't about a rider, or probably more about a Buckin Bull, especially one of mine, where they came from, where they've been, who they've bucked off, successful rides on the bull. So I try to fill in a little bit just to kind of educate the crowd on something that these guys might not be talking about.
Today is a bull challenge as well, so the bulls are going to be getting scored just like the cowboys. They're teamed up in groups of 3 on the bulls. Those stock contractors bring their own bull riders for the most part. What do you think about the first 3 bulls we saw so far?
We'll go right over there. When the guys are getting on their bulls, we've got to keep it clicking. When one guy's finished, we're getting on these guys. Hey, let's go, let's go. Hey, let's go with you. Here and then you. Who's this? When this guy's out here riding, I'm getting another one to warm their rope up, to where when that bull's gone, you know, it's just a matter of seconds and another one's coming out. We try to keep the show to about 2 or 2.5 hours. Of course, you got to give them their money's worth, but you don't want them to sit here all day and get bored because they won't come back.
For all you bull riders hanging out back there.
Every now and then I'll go to a bull riding, and I love to watch how the back pins work. I mean, the way those guys move, they're patient and they don't yell. They're really good at what they do. So I try to hire about the same thing here.
If you're in the back pens, you got to stay focused at all times, because if you're not paying attention, one of them bulls will run you over. It's pretty dangerous.
Hey guys, we're gonna bring them.
Moving the bulls around in the back pens, trying to load them up can be tricky at times. You'll have bulls that are young and hot, hard to sort, and then you'll have easy bulls that have been in the game before that are really easy to move in.
I've got about 130 bulls here with re-rides and the mini bulls. Some of them don't get along, so they got to separate them. They have to go find the bulls, load them in order. They need to remember when the bull's finished bucking where he goes back to. If a bull goes in to another pen that another bull owner has their bulls in there, there's going to be a huge fight. So they got to be really careful, but they do a great job.
I've seen you fly like 15, 20 feet.
I think it's important. I'm honored, man. Thank you guys.
Yeah, he said, hey, would you like
Rodeo's different. And that's one thing that really intrigued me as a professional rodeo athlete, was the competition is between me and that bull. It's not between me and the other riders. I'll get on my bull and I'll hit the ground, and my buddy might be next, and I'll run to the bucking chutes and jump up on the chutes to help him, you know, get ready for his ride. Same thing they do for me, and everybody helps everybody. It's a good group of people and a great family. And part of that is because we're not competing against the others necessarily. It's more us against the animal that we have drawn. It's always exciting when you buck 10 or 15 guys off in a row, and then the next guy rides one. The crowd just goes nuts, and that's rewarding to me.
second one's going to be 85.75.
For today with an 86.75.
Haven't been on in a while, and I was pretty excited to be here.
We thank you all for coming out and hope that you understand these are athletes and they're part of our family and they're our pets. We knocked a couple guys out, but they got back up, woke back up, and good show, good crowd. I feel relieved after we're finished and we're driving home. See you guys. Thank you for coming. You know, we'll leave here at wee hours of the morning tonight. We got to take all this down tonight after the event. You're relieved, but your wheels are turning for next year already. Planning an event like this, it's kind of the school of hard knocks. Kind of seeing how you did and doing the good things that you did again next year, and the things that you did wrong or could have done better, you fix them. A month after this event ends, it starts getting fun again, and it's exciting to start planning, but here for about 3 weeks or a month, I'll be sore and tired, and kind of what an old guy gets when he has to work so hard.
Come back second table. We're all important final. Ready? All the right. Can't go your ride. Okay. Do that. Up and out. There's that old gun. Okay, John, let's have it on your mind. Kind of a stutter step in. Ty Rinaldo staying right in the middle of it. Keeping that free hand up in the air.